saw his first couple of paychecks. And then he got in my ear saying, hey, I'm going to need help coming because I can't do this alone.
Yeah.
So go get your license. At the time, I'm unemployed. And I started taking my classes, but I would go with him on showing,
learning
get the idea.
Yeah.
What's it all about? As soon as I got my license, boom, he already had a couple of clients for me. So he take them over. They already pre-approved. My first client was...
Welcome everybody back to another episode of the People's Real Estate Podcast. This is episode 20, believe it or not, Renee.
Really?
Yes.
20?
Yes, this is episode 20.
It's a special one.
It's a special one. Joining me today is Renee, the other host, and our special guest, Mr. Juan Reyes. Juan.
Hello, everybody.
Introduce yourself, Juan. Who are you? Where do you work? What do you do?
Man, that's a deep question. Who are you?
Who are you?
Man,
you can take that however you want.
Juancito, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, guys. I am the executive vice president, you could say, over at our Argent Realty, managing broker of the original Beltsville office. That's where everything started growing and expanding from there.
Nice.
Yeah, and how many offices do we have?
Right now we have 3 offices, official
Okay.
offices for Argent, and we have we have 3 offices for the title company also.
Nice.
Okay.
So we have one in Virginia for KTL Virginia, Beltsville, and over by Rio.
Okay.
Nice.
So we have 3 offices now.
Oh, we have one in Rio?
Yeah, we have a little one, small
Nice,
one.
like a satellite office?
Yeah, it's one of those Regis offices.
Okay, nice.
Just a little
man.
space because we're getting a lot of business out of Frederick.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good location.
Northern
I
Montgomery
didn't know
County.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Okay.
It's good to know.
Hey, we're
It's
learning.
available to you guys too.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
So, whenever you guys need a space,
Hey, we're growing.
We're growing, bro.
So, that's the plan. That's the plan, is just to keep growing and keep going at it.
So if you guys recall, we had Matt Escobar on a couple episodes ago, and I can't imagine Matt without Juan, and I can't imagine Juan without Matt.
Right?
So this is gonna be, we're gonna have another episode when we bring both of them together, and it's gonna be an amazing
dynamic
duo.
Juancito,
So-
but tell us like what's the real estate journey like, man? Like how did you get, like, I guess, decide to get into real estate, or because right now you're like a managing broker, so basically you're not in sales anymore, right? You're
not
retired.
as much. Not as much.
Obviously. Okay. So how did the sales part of it? How did that start?
What's the origin?
Yeah, what's the origin story?
So yeah, Matt and I are best friends. We've known each other 34 years now.
Whoa, wow.
Met in 1990.
Sheesh.
I mean, that's way before your time, Carlos. I mean,
Carlos wasn't
way
born
I
yet.
wasn't even born yet. It's an honor to be here.
So when were you born? By the
I was
way?
born 96.
96. So
Yeah.
I graduated in 94. So you're still not even.
That's
Wow.
So, I know you guys had Matt here not too long ago, and he gave you his story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his story is not that different from mine.
Okay.
Okay.
The biggest difference that we always say is that he came by plane, I swam. He was lucky enough that he was able to, his mom being from Spain and everything, she have a
Gotcha.
few more privileges than we did.
Okay.
In El
So
Salvador.
tell us how that was for you. So you were born in El Salvador?
I was born in El Salvador.
Okay.
I came here when I was 11 years old.
Okay.
So my parents, first one to come over was my dad.
Okay.
He left in 83. Obviously because of the war.
The war and stuff,
That's the biggest reason that people left El Salvador back in those days.
got it.
Was because of the war.
Yeah.
So my dad came first. He ended up having family over in Yonkers, New York.
Wow, upstate.
So, upstate New York. So
Wow.
that's where not upstate, but Yonkers is, near the boroughs, I guess.
Oh, yeah?
I'm
Oh, I thought
not
Yonkers
sure
was,
where
like, up
Yonkers-
there.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm wrong
So
then.
I'm not
Sorry.
100%.
I don't know New
I'll
York,
have to
so I
look at
can't-
that.
I hear you. I thought it was
Yeah.
up there, but
Yeah.
okay,
No,
I'm probably wrong though.
It's
Shout out
like,
Yonkers.
suburb.
Gotcha. Do you still have family there now?
We have some family over there. Yeah,
Nice.
we got some cousins and everything that stayed in New York.
Okay.
And then in 85, my mom came over.
Okay.
She came, she made the trek and everything. Her story is a whole different story. 'Cause
Wow.
she got lost in the desert for like a month.
Cool.
And she almost died.
Wow.
She almost died. After that, in 87,
Okay.
my dad saved enough money. Turns out that I guess he didn't like the area where they were living in,
York?
over in New York.
Okay.
They're like, crime and everything like that, not very family friendly, I guess.
Well, it's New York.
So, yeah, it's New York.
So you said let's go to DC.
Yeah, and we had there was a couple of cousins. We had a couple of cousins that had made the trip, and they came over to this area.
Yeah.
So from there, so they moved down.
Yeah.
And they saved
No, I'm saying
money.
I made the joke sarcastic because DC wasn't the best place at that time either.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't the city. I guess he didn't like the city.
I hear you.
The
I hear
city
you. I mean, it
aspect
wasn't.
of
It's probably not New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
concrete jungle.
Yeah,
as they call
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I guess they didn't like. They didn't like that. So they came down. They were living in just down the street, actually, Summer Hills. Do you know where?
Oh
that
yeah,
is?
yeah, Summer Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Over there by like he's safe.
Yeah.
gotcha.
He says, and in like 4 years.
Yeah.
So from then, in '87, my dad went back, and to get us, me and my two brothers.
Oh, okay.
So, we made the trip. It was a crazy trip. It took us about 10 days it took us only a couple days to get to the Mexican U.S. border.
Got you.
We made the trek. We took a bus over to Guatemala, Mexico border. From there, we took a plane to the capital, Distrito Federal.
And you were around 11 at this time?
11 years
So you remember this stuff like
Oh
vividly.
yeah. I remember when we got robbed
Wow.
in Tijuana
What?
by the cops. Yeah, we took a taxi, and the taxi did a little signal to
Little
the
move.
cops.
Yeah, these guys right here.
Yeah, they pulled him over. They said that because his tires crossed the white line and everything. So they put us into the car, took us under a bridge and everything, took all my dad's money.
What?
Oh, it's a long story, man. But yeah, we got robbed, and they dropped us off at the hotel. Then, the next day or two later, the coyote came and met us and took all of our luggage with him because, I guess he was an American, obviously Mexican, but, American, so he could cross the border and everything. So he took all of our luggage and introduced us to the guy that was going to help us cross the border. And then from there, it was a one-night trip. It took one night just to cross from Tijuana into the San Diego area.
Okay.
So... and sure enough, I didn't swim the river.
Okay.
But we did have to cross this little swamp where we got into this trash bags, the big old black trash bags.
Yeah.
Got into one of those. I had to cross the.
Because when they say the river, that's more on the Texas side.
Yeah,
right?
that's more the Texas.
Yeah,
side.
but you went like Baja California, Southern California.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I took the same trip, Juan, but I was, from what they tell me, I was like 8 months.
That's crazy.
So on that trip,
Yeah.
so I didn't. I don't have memories like Juan.
I don't either. I was on the bus.
Oh yeah, Juan.
I just remember I stayed with some family in Mexico, some town in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, and the only reason I remember this is because they had like a son around my age, and I got separated. I was with my older brother, but I crossed through on the bus, and my brother, same like you, he had to cross through the river, and that's where we got separated. And I remember being there. I don't know how long it was, but I just remember the son they had. He treated me real bad. He accused me of like I was stealing stuff, and so it was a real terrible.
You can
experience.
remember that stuff?
Yeah, I was just like I remember I was so hungry, and he would just sit and eat like a couple of like ramen noodles in front of me, and I remember I'd be wanting it so bad.
That's
and
crazy.
it's like I didn't have the courage to ask or anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, whenever they feed me type of thing. And it was terrible for me. I was just like, that's the only thing I remember though. And then next thing I know, I'm with this lovely family in Houston.
What?
And then my parents picked me up like not too long after.
So Juancito, so your dad, he went back and took the trip with you guys. Man, that's a good father, bro.
So he was already here and then he went back.
Yeah,
he was already here for 4 years.
to go through all that again.
Yeah.
Yo.
Because I mean, a lot of parents just say, "Oh, send them."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of stuff happens on the way.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's
People get lost. They get
Yeah,
they
man.
die.
Hey,
I
big
mean,
ups to your dad, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a good father, man.
So a lot of yeah, absolutely, because I guess he didn't trust anybody.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That he could say, hey,
No,
okay.
just put yourself through that.
Of course.
Because 4 years, he established something.
Yeah.
Here.
I mean, we all
He's
hear,
risking all that.
we all hear all the stories that happen. Like some people don't make it.
Yeah,
some
of
people
course.
get like they get held for ransom. It's like it's a common thing. So
And Juan, your brother was on the trip, right?
My two brothers, my older and my younger brother.
You have two brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're the
I had
middle?
older brothers.
So you're the middle child?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm the
Okay.
middle child. My younger brother he was 4 years younger than me. So I was 11. He was
7?
Seven.
Yeah. And your older brother's how much older than you?
a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah.
Okay, not too
Yeah,
much.
he's
not too
turning
much
50
older.
this year in May.
All right.
Okay.
So, But yeah, man, I remember, to hear the stories about people crossing the highways.
Yeah.
We did that. The 12-lane highway, 6 lanes each way. It was like 3 a.m. obviously, so it's
I hear you, but
that
still
much traffic. But it's like you have to run. I remember my dad had my little brother in his hand, and he was kind of falling behind.
Wow.
So this big guy that was crossing with us, like he picked up my younger brother, just put him under his arms, like run. And just ran with him.
Dang.
And then, handed him back to my dad and everything. But so obviously came here, the old-fashioned way, when you're illegal.
Yeah.
And eventually we ended up living in Summit Hills it was 10 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. 2-bedroom apartment, 10 of us. It was my cousins.
That's so crazy.
I live like that.
One of the rooms my cousin had by herself because she had just given birth to my little cousin. So they gave her that room.
Yeah.
So a couple of my cousins stayed in the living room, and there was maybe it was the 5 of us, and maybe 3 more people in the master bedroom. So we didn't have any. All we had was mattresses that you would push them up against the wall during the day, and then at night you just bring them back and sleep and everything.
That's a lot of people's situation back in the day.
No, here's the thing. You just
even now.
I was about to say, you know what fascinates me? People tell these stories like that doesn't happen anymore. There's still people living like that. You know what I mean? Just trying to get out the mud. You know what I mean? Trying to come up in America, man. Yeah, but that's
the struggle
wild,
is real.
man.
So
right here in Summit Hills, huh? You guys had a 3-bedroom, you said?
It was 2-bedroom.
Oh, it was a 2-bedroom.
2-bedroom.
Wow.
2-bedroom, and then they saved up enough money to
like 800 square feet or something like that.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it wasn't that. Yeah, I mean, those apartments are.
How long was that? Was that the living situation for?
At that place, it was about a year and a half, maybe.
Okay.
It was and then my parents, they saved enough money to where we got our own apartment in Summit Hills, and then from there. We ended up going over to Aspen Hill after that.
Okay.
And
that time that was an upgrade.
Yeah.
That was a big upgrade.
The Northgate Apartments.
Behind
the it used to be the Kmart. It used to be the Kmart. So,
was that Grand Prix or Belpre? Grand Prix. That's what it is.
Yeah. Belpre runs the other side.
The other way. Yeah, you're right.
So we So let's see. From there, I started. When thinking back on it, if I had stayed at Summit Hills, because I went to, I guess you can say, fancy public school.
Well, you were in Montgomery County.
Yeah, but we got bussed in to Chevy Chase Elementary School. So I was going to Chevy Chase.
So you eventually got to BCC.
I would have gone to BCC. I would have gone to BCC, but it was, like I said, just thinking back on it now. Because when I started in 6th grade, and I was in my ESOL class, it was maybe 5 of us, and then everybody else at that school was, Caucasian, white,
it makes sense,
because of the area. So thinking back on it, it's like, hey, they were busing us in because
I'm surprised you had 4 other ESOL with you.
Yeah, man, I remember it was literally 4 or 5 people.
Kids. Yeah, that's what my elementary school experience was. It was like 2, 3 other.
Yeah, but it was that helped me because it was an intense learning. I was the first half of the day. It was just ESOL class.
Was it hard for you to learn English?
No.
That's what they say, right? The younger you come, the easier it is.
Yeah,
that's how it was for me.
The younger you come, the easier it is to pick it up and everything. And because it was such an intense program that I was there, for half the day, every day. I mean, by 7th grade, by 8th grade, 6th and 7th grade, I went through the whole ESOL program. And then by 8th grade, I was in regular English classes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So, the way things work out, then we moved over to Aspen Hill.
How old were you at the time?
That was 89, so 13.
Okay.
13, almost 14.
Okay.
And between 6th grade and high school, I went to maybe 5 different schools.
Oh, wow.
Like each year we kept moving, we kept moving around. And essentially, by the time that we moved back to another 2-bedroom apartment because I guess money wasn't flowing as good as they thought it was. Again, with other cousins that he had 3 kids, and we had 5 of us, 5 of them, right there across from Doña Susana off of Piney Branch.
Okay.
So from there, again we moved there, and then my parents we started going to Blair. For 9th grade. I started 9th grade at Kennedy.
Really?
Yeah. First month I was in Kennedy.
Man, you've been the whole tour of the school system.
That's how he knows. That's how he knows the area so well.
Chevy Chase Elementary School, Westland Middle School, Ebrook Lee,
Okay.
and then Kennedy,
Okay.
and then Blair.
Wow.
So 5 different schools in 4 years.
And Blair is where you met
Blair's
Matthias?
where I met Matt.
Ah, that's hilarious.
That's where the friendship began. So
that's crazy. So how life works, man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You just happened to be there at the time that you could go to Blair. If not, you would have been at Kennedy or BCC or
Kennedy, BCC.
When
Not only that, but only.
What was the first interaction you had with Matt?
I wish I could tell you.
You don't remember?
No, I
Too
know
long
that
ago.
I wish I could tell you. Oh, this was the day. I know that we had a few classes together. Same class, same grade, and everything.
Y'all was a menace in school.
What?
Y'all was a menace in school.
Yeah.
Y'all was no good.
No. I was into
He said,
sports.
yeah.
I was into sport. Matt was into cars, and he told you his whole story. He electronics and stuff together. I was
You were more into sports?
Yeah, I was into sports. I was playing football. I played basketball.
Mediocampista.
So
Mediocampista.
no.
He played basketball and football.
Oh, football,
American
basketball.
football. Basketball and football. I never tried out for soccer.
Really?
You're not your typical Latino then.
What did they put you in at football? O lineman, tight end?
I was
Running back?
I was a fullback.
Fullback? Okay, that makes
Fullback. I was clearing the way for the running back.
yeah, of course.
And,
That's how I would use you.
Yeah, and on defense, I was defensive end.
Oh, yeah? You played D end a little bit?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I remember, I had like 3 or 4 sacks in one game.
What?
For
Polk High.
Yeah, Polk High.
What's it called? Did you play? But back in the day, I'm assuming they didn't let you play till like your sophomore year or something like that.
Well, no.
Oh, there was JV.
Yeah, JV.
Oh, okay, JV. That's
But,
right. That's right.
By the time that I got to Blair, because I started at Kennedy, and I did start at football in the football team there, but then we moved, and then by the time that I went to Blair, they had the team set out, tryouts, everything was done, so I didn't play my freshman year.
Got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, so then sophomore and junior year I played played football.
Nice, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Things
there
you
you go.
learned at the end. Huh?
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I don't remember like when Matt and I first met.
I hear you.
I know that we had classes together, and eventually we both ended up going to the Edison Career Center.
Okay.
And he by the time he was already driving.
Okay.
So I didn't want to ride the bus back, so I just hitched a ride with him every single day. So
And that's how it grew.
That's how we grew. Yeah, that's how we grew, and then we started hanging out and everything.
What did you want to do at Edison?
At Edison, my first, because I went there for 11th and 12th grade. So 11th grade, I did computer programming.
Okay.
And for 12th grade, I did drafting and design.
Okay.
Where we would put together, at that time, they had the printing press in the school and everything.
Yeah.
So you put together the whatever the thing for the newsletter, I
The
guess.
school paper or whatever. Got
Paper
you.
and everything, and you put the article together. Then you take a photo of it. So we take a photo, develop the photo, then transfer over to the printing plate. Then you put the plate into the printing press with the ink.
So you guys had one of those, I forgot what they're called, like, where you got to go in the dark to develop the pictures?
Yeah, darkroom.
A dark room. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
That's
we
old
did
school.
all of that stuff.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. That's
With
crazy.
the computer programming, I mean, it was so, this is 1993. So, I mean, computers, I remember it was just like DOS.
DOS, yeah.
all that stuff. It wasn't anything like...
So real estate wasn't in the picture for you at all.
No, real estate was not in the picture at all. After high school, I ended up going to work at do you remember Duran Paints?
Yeah, of course.
La Duron.
Yeah, La Duron.
La Duron. That's where my brother started working at. So he got me a job
Okay.
there. And from there, I remember, started off making $6.67 an hour,
667.
$6.67.
Was that minimum wage back then?
Maybe.
No, probably not. I mean, I think federal minimum wage was less, but I guess because I was bilingual, they gave me a little bit extra, because everybody that came into the store was pretty much Latino and everything.
Latino.
So, so it was somewhat of a sales job.
Okay.
We had to, not just sell paint, but, they had like spray machine whenever somebody needed a spray machine and stuff like that, or power washers.
Tools. You
kind of had to learn the product and explain it to them and kind of sell it to the clients and everything. So kind of started picking up some of the sales techniques there.
Got you.
From there, I went to McCormick Paints.
Okay.
To McCormick Paints. Again, because someone from that store went over to that company because they were the competition. They were getting paid more, so then they offered me. He brought me over, said, "Hey, come on over," and ended up getting me like $10 an hour.
Nice.
So I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm double digits now.
Yeah.
Of course.
So from there, by that time, Matt and I were roommates and everything. After high school,
That's what I was gonna ask you. After high school, did you guys stay friends?
yeah, no, absolutely. The first summer, we didn't like see each other.
Okay.
And Matt came over to my apartment, like in the fall.
Okay.
And knocked on the door.
Yeah.
And then I looked through a peephole, and mind you, you guys know Matt's fucking
Tall.
I can curse, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Matt's freaking tall. You know, he's 6'4". So,
Yeah.
but when we graduated, I was taller than him.
I was gonna ask you, but you're tall too, man. How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a good day. I'm 6'1".
Depending on what shoes he's wearing.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there at 6'2".
So te pasó el Matt.
Yeah, so I saw that summer he had like leg growth spurt. So I'm like, who the fuck is this guy at my door?
That's
And
funny.
I opened the door, like, what the fuck?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, but we always, even when we would ride back to school from Edison, we had conversations and everything, and you just click with somebody.
Yeah, of course.
You gotta have the same mentality and everything, and it's like we just knew we don't know what we're gonna do, but it's like we want to do something together and just
awesome,
help each other get ahead.
Yeah.
Essentially, So with him, we became roommates after that.
Where'd you guys get a place?
Pepper Tree Farm
Pepper Tree. That's
off of Belpre.
Oh, you mean what? Yeah. You're
Off
right.
of Belpre,
Yeah.
so just
on
around
the other
corner.
side.
Yeah.
Right?
You know where the fire department is? If you go Connecticut all the way up?
Yeah.
Right on the right-hand side, where Connecticut
So
is.
at what age, how old were you guys both?
1995, so 19.
Okay.
I'm 19. I'm almost a year older than Matt.
Okay.
So he was, 18.
So you were one of the few Latinos that got out of there at 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that meant.
But in our culture, we're there to like 30 sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we had to get out. He had bills to pay,
very driven.
Yeah.
From an early age.
that's
Both
awesome.
of you.
Yeah.
You kind of learn.
Yeah.
So from there we became roommates. When I was working at Duran and everything, I didn't even have a car. I was to take the bus, to the store. Luckily, it was right next to the Twinbrook station, so I would just take the bus. At 5:30, the very first bus that ran that day, because I had to be at the store at 6 a.m.
Wow.
So I would take the bus, whatever. A couple of years later, I finally ended up getting my license and everything. But from there, Matt was already working at, he went from Belmont TV, Radio Shack, Belmont TV, Circuit City. Once he got to Circuit City, that's when he kind of started getting in my ear saying, hey, why don't you, come in and work over here? It's commission based, so you're going to make a lot more money because it's based on how much you hustle and how much
produce,
you sell. Produce. So I'm like, all right, let me give it a shot. So I started working part-time. So I would work from 6:30, 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. at the paint store. And then from there, the Circuit City store was only like 10 minutes away. So I would just go straight to the store and work there from 5:30 till close.
Nice.
And I would do that three days during the week, and then obviously all weekend, Saturday and Sundays I would be there for a full shift.
All day.
Yeah, not all day, but at least either the morning shift or the closing shift.
Got you.
Opening or closing shift. And I started making more money working part-time at Circuit City than my full-time job. So clearly, the choice was easy.
Yeah.
It's like, let me get into Circuit
Sales,
City full-time. From there, we went to Best Buy. Then, kind of got burnt out by the retail, the grind, the politics of it.
No days off.
No days off.
Not
and just,
retail.
And just trying to get promoted and stuff like that, getting overlooked, even though you're producing, you're the store succeeding. And
at that time, I'm assuming the last name and
the last name and
skin
everything.
color played into a lot of the politics of you guys advancing within.
Absolutely.
It's corporate, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt would always kind of train me to be his replacement. So every time that he got a promotion, I get
you
a
were right
promotion.
behind
Yeah,
him.
I take over his position and everything. So that was like the like I said, helping each other out.
Yeah.
I'm there to replace him because
That's an amazing friendship.
Yeah.
Because not, at least nowadays, you don't really see many people who would really go out the way for somebody like that. The fact that he's like, wherever I go, you're right behind me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome for
Yeah. And these places, it's like they always tell you, oh, you want to get promoted, make sure you have your replacement ready and stuff like that. So, that's how it went until, we pretty much both, he got sick of it first. He got sick of it, he quit. And then did I quit back then, or did I quit after the vacation? But anyways, I think we went on vacation to Barcelona in 2001. He had just quit that summer. Didn't know what to do. He had made it like a yearly trip to Spain with his, at the time, his brother-in-law, Gary. And they had gone like 2 years in a row. And then that summer, they planned another trip. I had saved up enough money. I'm like, yeah, I'm tagging along.
Fuiste a Barcelona.
Hostia.
What year was that?
2001. We were there for 9/11.
Oh, one? Oh, you were in
Barcelona
Spain,
for 9/11.
I was in high school, man.
Yep.
I don't even know where I was.
You were like 4 years old.
5 years old. 4 or 5, man.
Probably taking a nap.
Yep. So I remember, the whole thing was like a dream because.
So you experienced 9/11 outside of the United States?
Yes.
Wow, I've never heard that. That must have been crazy.
Yeah, it was.
It's like they're attacking your house and you're not even there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It must be a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was weird because also the thing that made it even more weird is because obviously we had gotten there like on the 9th, so like 2 days before.
Yeah.
And obviously, we were young at the time, so we were out partying and just,
Barcelona,
having a good time.
Man, what better place?
Exactly. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's your guys' mentality when it comes to girls at this moment? Like, you guys sound like you're just so driven on like career focus. But I know
but when we would, go have fun.
But that's
we
the
would go
thing,
have
though.
fun.
Ask them why they were making the money, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
You see what I'm saying?
some
To
of the
go
stuff we
impress the
spent
girls,
money
to get
on.
with the girls.
that hasn't
man.
changed. Girls don't want no broke boy.
yeah. So some of the things that we spent money on. Some of the cruises that we were on.
Yeah. So you guys have experienced a lot, man.
Yeah. So we were there for 9/11. The night before we went out, we partied and everything. We didn't get home till like 3, 4 p.m. No, even later than that because Spain, for some reason, clubs stay open till the whole 6 a.m.
Right? Yeah.
So the thing doesn't get started till like 2 a.m.
That's when the party really starts.
Yeah, that's when it really starts. People have their late dinners and everything, and then everybody heads out. So we got home, we were hungover, we're just sleeping. It was like 3 p.m. at that time, and we stayed at Matt's aunt's house, and we stayed in the basement, and we suddenly just started hearing this pounding. She's like knocking on the floor, trying to wake us up. So our friend Gary, he wakes up, he goes up and everything. She's like, shows him what's going on TV.
Oh, he comes and gets you.
Yeah, he comes and gets like, guys, I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Something going on in New York. There's like a movie, because by the time that he went upstairs, all they're showing is just the second plane hitting. And he's seeing the one tower on fire, the plane hitting. He's like he's hungover.
Yeah,
so
they thought it was a movie plane.
Yeah,
what the
hard
hell
to
is
process.
going on? So we all went up and we spent all the afternoon just glued to the TV, watching what was happening. My brother, that worked at Duran at the time, he was by the time he was already a sales rep. Okay. So we sat on the field. Whenever people had complaints or whatever, he was supposed to be at the Pentagon.
Wow,
that day.
Incredible.
Where the plane hit.
Whoa.
Because they were remodeling that area, that section of it. And it happens that there was an issue with a batch of paint that this one contractor had used where it wasn't matching.
Wow.
So obviously, in order for the company to give him new paint for no charge or whatever, he needed to go and document the whole thing and show that it wasn't matching and that it was the company's fault, essentially, that it didn't. So he was supposed to be there that morning. He got a call, and this is where, you can get into conspiracy theories if you want to get into them. But, he got a call the night before saying, hey, we need to reschedule. Don't come in because whenever you're a civilian or whatever, you got to have a guide to walk through the Pentagon. So the guy was like, hey, don't come in. We got, something came up. So just stay home. We'll reschedule it.
What a coincidence.
Yep. So, and then the next day, it's just all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So he was like, holy crap, I would have been right there.
That's incredible.
Because also he was supposed to be there in the morning. So right when the plane hit.
The time. Yeah.
So that was crazy. So then after, after retail, Matt is the one that got his license first. And I'm sure he told you guys that 6 months into him, his first few deals, it took him a few months to close, like any of us.
Yeah,
it takes you a few months to get your first deal under your belt and everything. Yeah. And, he knew that just by his phone started ringing off the hook that, he was going to be busy. And, he saw his first couple of paychecks. And then he got in my ear saying, "Hey, I'm gonna need help coming because I can't do this alone.
Yeah.
So go get your license." So at the time I'm unemployed, and I started taking my classes, but I would go with him on showing,
learning
get the idea.
Yeah,
okay, what's it all about? And I attended a couple of his first couple of closings when he was at Long and Foster, and kind of got the sense of what the whole business is like. And as soon as I got my license, boom, he already had a couple of clients for me. So he take them over. They're already pre-approved. My first client was my cousin, original townhouse. Because he's taking money out to put his kids to college and everything. But again, he's using the equity. Yeah, he's leveraging the property that he bought 20 years ago.
That's amazing.
To do the things and that's the thing that people don't understand in this business. It's like, look, it's great to buy a house and to be own a house and everything. But you have to look at it as an investment. It is an investment in your future, in yourself, and the things that it can do for you over time. It's never a short-term investment.
Yeah.
Don't ever look at it that way, because
it's not quick money.
Unless you're buying cash. If you're buying cash, you don't care if the market crashes or you're not in a bad loan or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
true.
At least that way, it's always a long-term play.
Yeah.
And you got to leverage it and make it work for you. And if you have the right guidance and the right agents, guiding you, then you'll be successful in everything.
Yeah.
The one thing that my dad, because, we were in apartments and everything, moving in and around, but he always had the goal of owning something. He wanted to buy something. His first house, he bought it his only house, he bought it in 1999.
Okay.
He got here in 83. So that's 16 years later. It took him 16 years to achieve that goal. And when he bought the house, there wasn't, actually the internet wasn't around. There was nowhere that he could go for guidance.
Yeah.
He kind of had to he founded, one of the very few Spanish-speaking agents.
Really? Okay.
Jorge Collazo.
Wow.
He actually worked at Fairfax Realty, the same office that we worked at.
Interesting.
And, I remember him. He remembered us. But yeah, at the time, there really weren't that many Latino speaking agents.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that much information out there. But his goal was to own a house, and he did whatever he did. He didn't know about credit, none of those things. They don't teach you that in our countries
at all.
So he hustled and he worked hard on his credit and on saving the down payment and everything that he needed, and ended up buying this house right here off of Weller.
Okay, he's off of Weller. Nice.
Right off of Weller. Bought that house.
My father-in-law's around there.
Rambler, just like this one.
Okay.
Bought it for $170,000.
Wow.
In 1999.
Wow.
Nice.
What do you think that house is worth, Carlitos?
I'd say well over like $500K.
Just about.
Yeah.
It's over 500.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Because Matt had a listing there about a year and a half ago on the street right behind it, same house, and it sold for $525.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There you go.
$525. And mind you, my dad, he hasn't, for as much as a visionary he was, as far as wanting real estate or whatever,
he stopped at one.
He stopped at one, won't listen to me. He's like, dude, buy some rentals, whatever. It is what it is.
But you gotta understand, see, Juan, that's what I was thinking, Juan. Like my father, kind of the same thing, right? He's bought a couple properties, things like that. But man, you gotta understand what their goal, like they've more than achieved their goals.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's another thing. It might have taken your dad that long, but man, he had to raise all of you, pay for everybody. Just bringing you guys here must have been a huge setback at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Three boys, right?
Three boys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, man, big ups to your dad, man. That's amazing, man. But they come with the mentality of I'm gonna buy a house.
Yeah,
and they achieve it.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
the American dream.
So they achieve their goals. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's hard to kind of push them to do more, because it's like you're kind of pushing someone to go beyond their dreams already. You know what I mean?
They've already reached what they want.
Bro, it's an amazing story,
and it's hard for them to move that flagpole further. They're like, dude, I already did it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's time for you guys to carry the.
Well, think how much he achieved.
Yeah.
He came here, brought his children. You know what I mean? Raised all of them, and then bought a house. You know what I mean? That's
dude. I think about the same thing, because my parents, just like you, they brought up 4 kids.
Yeah.
Their story when they tell it is like, you know, every time my dad's the one that always makes sure that we don't forget the struggles they went through,
sacrifices.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's incredible just on its own, the journey here. You know, a lot of people, you know, if you're not an immigrant, you can't really. It's hard for you to wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
The sacrifice that people make just to have an I be here.
Well, they risk your life.
Yeah.
Think about you risk your life.
Risk your life.
You know what I mean? Just to get here.
Yeah, and everything.
You know what I
mean? And you can't. I personally can't imagine going to a different country where I don't speak the language. I don't know.
I told my dad
I don't know how nothing works.
I don't know how they did it.
And being able to thrive and survive and building and even getting to a point of owning something.
Yeah.
You know, that to me just. So it's like that gives me motivation. Like, yo, I'm not working hard enough. I'm not doing enough. It's like what am I gonna leave my children?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're gonna be like, Dad, you lived this many years and you didn't. This is all you got to show for it. I can't.
Now that generation was different, man.
Yeah.
The whole different generation.
Yeah, and they also have different mentalities. You know, a lot of them think that, oh, I'm just gonna. Once I'm done, I'll retire and I'll go back.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'll say, they don't go back.
Yeah. Maybe now.
You know, they go back for vacations and
Yeah.
extended vacations, but then, you know, el calor allá and you know, so hot and all that stuff. And
And they're not the same when they left.
yeah, it's
a whole different country.
It's
Like,
a completely different country and everything. And it's like they always come back and everything. So, but that's always the mentality they have.
Yeah.
I'm just,
because that was
I'll
like
sell.
those were their goals. Those were their
saving my money and then want to go live because my money's going to go further down there. So I'm going to go back and live down there, go right off into the sunset.
Yeah, like my dream is own a building. You see what I'm saying? So maybe one day I own it. You guys go, go buy a second building. I'll be like, man, I got my building, bro.
I reached the finish line already.
Well, it's all mentality, right? But that's awesome, man. So you started out with Matt at Long and Foster.
No, I was never Long and Foster.
Oh, you were never Long
He
and
was
Foster?
there.
Okay.
He was there for 6 months, really, until he closed the first couple of deals and he saw the commission split.
And he was like,
it was
man,
a joke.
F this.
yeah, of course. I mean, we come from commission sales,
Yeah.
where they don't take money from us.
Yeah.
You know, you hustle, you know, and whatever you sell, you get paid off of that.
You eat what you
And
kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, they want to take half of your commission, and they're not doing anything for you.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we always tell our agents. Like,
Yeah.
look,
But they're Long and Foster, though.
they're Long and Foster. It's like,
You're paying for the name.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, Matt was like, nah, this is,
It's not working.
Yeah, he's like, no, this is not going to work out.
So then that's when you guys make the move to
Fairfax Realty, yeah. Because they were one of the few brokerage at the time that offered 100% commission.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, it was Fairfax, Jobin Realty,
Okay.
and I forget who the other ones, only like 3 or 4 of them. So, you know, Fairfax had an office right there off of Elton Road.
Yeah.
And that's where, by the time that he switched, that's when I got my license. You know, So I got licensed July of 2002. He got licensed January of 2002. So by the time that he switched over, I just went straight into.
So you guys were at Fairfax for a while.
18 years.
I was about to say, because I was talking to Matt and I was going through the timeline when I got licensed. You guys were just leaving Fairfax at the time because I came into TriStar. You know, Fairfax was the building here. The TriStar was the building down here. Yeah, and I think he even said that you guys
TriStar used to be Fairfax.
something like that, or you guys had an office back there or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So I missed them by like a couple months. You know what I mean? If not, I would have ran into them when I first started. I'd be multi-millionaire by now.
Yeah, so we didn't leave Fairfax until 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we went off on our own.
Yeah.
But we left that office.
Yeah.
Because Fairfax, that's after the crash and everything, they downsized. They closed out a whole bunch of offices. So at that spot, it was where TriStar was. That was actually Fairfax's title company, RTS.
That space.
That space, and then behind them, they had some additional offices that we had, our team had.
Those are the offices Matt was talking about.
So there's like a chiropractor there now, or something like that.
Something like that back there.
Right back there. Right next to the liquor store. Yeah, that was convenient on a Friday when you have this business stresses you out.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
Facts.
You just go next door and say, hey, here we go. So,
Facts. And then, yeah, man. So you guys are all right. So you spend that's 18 years. That's a long
2002 to 2019. So
17
years.
So let me ask you this, right? Your first year. How much money did you make, if you remember?
I mean, you have to remember these are $100,000 houses that I'm selling.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm making, a
you're
lot
not
of
making
money.
eight.
It was good enough to replace my income that I was making
Okay.
at Best Buy. Because once we went to Best Buy, they paid us hourly. Because they didn't work commission.
Okay.
That was their whole thing. It's like,
Interesting.
we don't pay our associates commission. They're hourly, so they're not going to push things on you, like they thought that employees at Circuit City did.
That was like their pitch or what?
Yeah, that was their pitch. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
So, but yeah, it was enough to replace my income.
Okay.
And then from there on, we started growing the team and everything. And there was at one point, our team, we had like 12 people in our team.
Wow.
We were one of the first groups, first teams in the area, because that thing didn't exist back then.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, you didn't have teams, you didn't have groups and stuff like that of agents that work together and everything to grow the team, essentially. So we were one of the very few in the area, and we just, we always had the bigger vision. One of the things that we stress a lot to you guys, to all the other agents, is branding yourself. Circuit City, one of the things that we learned at Circuit City is brand. The brand is Circuit City, but also the brand is Sony. It's Panasonic, all these places. And you have got to make a name for yourself. So we knew that we needed to brand ourselves a certain way to be the go-to, team, I guess you can say, for Latinos or whatever. So we always, and with a brand, you also have to understand that somebody has to be the face of the team, of the company, and in this case, it's Matt. Matt's the face. He's the one that that talks and likes to talk and can sell.
He's the one that, from everything you've told me, he's the one that's kind of like paved the way, and you're the one that's keeping him moving forward. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's like, as we know,
Juan's the evil genius in the background.
Like, Matt is just the face, but Juan is he's the one that's pulling the strings in the
one
back.
that's holding everything together.
Exactly.
The puppet master, bro.
Make sure this wall's not falling down.
No, but that's awesome. The fact that something that I admire a lot about hearing you guys' dynamic is that, in certain partnerships, there's always someone could say, is like, do you not feel like some type of jealousy, like, oh, like he's the one that's always, the face, the head of everything, and what about me? As that, but I don't sense none of that.
It's because they're more like brothers, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't really get jealous of your brother like that. Like, you kind of want.
It happens.
I mean, it does happen. It does happen, but in some kind of way, you want your brother to succeed.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't sense.
No, it's amazing,
and that's what amazes me.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's amazing,
it's
especially
just
in
like,
this business.
I know that I'm just pushing you, I'm just helping you, and I don't mind that. And it's just like, because you shine, I shine. We both grow together, and that's just, to me, it's amazing.
No, it's amazing. I always tell these guys, that was I interviewed a couple places when I left Remax, right?
Yeah.
Because by that point, I understood I'm interviewing the broker. The broker's not really interviewing me. And these guys, man, first of all, they dedicated it had to be 3 or 4 hours to me, just talking to me. Nobody does that, bro. You know what I mean? Number one, right? And then number two, I started learning exactly what he's saying. Like, a lot of the team they had or they built is still around.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys have 15, 20, 25-year relationships all in one building.
Yeah.
And that amazed me, because I come from more cutthroat, you know what I mean? Like,
Everyone's competition.
Everyone's competition, you know what I mean? So that was, and I've tried mentoring people, having people under me, and it's real estate, man. And I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I left my mentor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. The grass is green on the other side, with a better pastures, whatever. Like, I understand, especially in real estate.
Yeah.
In real estate, they even incentivize you to leave where you're at. They'll give you a bonus if you leave where you're at and stuff like that. So I understand in real estate, it's a revolving door usually.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. When I sat down with these guys and I met them for the first time, that's really what closed me, man. I was like, man, if I could build anything with anyone in real estate that last 20 years, I want to know how to do that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what attracted me to these guys the most. Like, that loyalty, that it's not just Juan and Matt, it's like everyone around them, you know what I mean? It's amazing.
For me, it was it wasn't
free
first
lunch?
Of all, it was a free lunch. Nah, for me, it was first of all, Argent was the second brokerage I ever I was fresh off, getting licensed, and the other brokerage I was at, I never even got to meet the broker, and then the environment too. I'm big on, like, I feel the energy in the room, and it's like it wasn't welcoming at all.
Yeah.
And so, and like you say, everybody, sometimes they look at you like competition, even though you're brand new. They're like, oh, this guy, like, who's this guy? So I didn't feel that warmth. I didn't feel welcome. So, and then, like I always say, like, God, I always tell God, I'm like, put me in the right place, like, for the right people. And I felt discouraged. I was just recently got licensed. I was like, no, I'm not feeling this place. Like, I don't think real estate is for me. I was having all these thoughts, and then I get a call from Paula, and and she's like, look, I feel like God put me in your path. Like, come talk to me. Let's see what we can do for you.
Right.
And I go to the Beltsville office, and then she's talking to me, and I'm liking what she's telling me, and then she's like, look, let me call Matt real quick, the broker. I'm like, okay, this is already one step that I never even got to meet the broker. And then I get on the phone with Matt, and like minutes later he comes in, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like, Matt, he sold me instantly. I'm like, yo, and then he told me his pitch, and I'm like, yo, this guy sounds like a great guy.
You're like, who's this Greek guy coming here?
And then I find out he's Spanish. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, all right, cool. Pupucero también. I'm like, all right,
That's
cool.
right.
Yeah. So, another thing is, like, the level of dedication you guys put into educating the agent and making sure they know what they're talking about, how to just handle the business, not just to be stuck working in the business as an employee all your life, instead of learning how to manage it and grow it. That is that to me is amazing. Yeah. So big shout out to Argent.
Appreciate it.
What you guys are
and
doing.
Speaking about Argent, that would be the transition. Like, Matt always tells me the story how when you guys started, it was right when the pandemic, man. Yeah. Tell me, man, what was going on in your head? Because, I know you trust Matt. You guys are great friends, but at the time, you had to been thinking, man, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you didn't really know how bad it was going to get.
Yeah.
With the shutdown and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, obviously, it'll pass.
Yeah, we left Fairfax in November 2019, and everything, because what happened, I don't know if Matt told you the story of what happened at Fairfax.
Nah, I don't think we know.
I don't remember.
Essentially, the broker found out that we had plans to open up our own brokerage.
Mm.
I didn't know that.
When he found out, he kicked us all out.
What?
Yeah. Kicked us all out.
He was like, not under my watch.
Yeah, vindictive. Like, he doesn't know how to run a freaking business. He's just lucky that, he's got a whole bunch of agents, and he opened up that model 100% at the right time. And he got a lot of agents to come over and everything. But yeah, so the broker, he kicked us out. He got there on a Monday and said,
you see what I'm saying about our industry? Stuff. You see, instantly they were competition.
Exactly.
Get out of my face. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no loyalty.
They didn't even try to, like, hey,
let me partner up.
Yeah, let's partner up. Let's work together. Let's do something. No, he was like, get the hell out.
That's the mentality in this business, man. I'm telling you, that's not rare.
And you guys were there for years.
Yeah, 17 years.
Just to be like, yo, get out.
All the money that we had made him and everything. Yeah, it was like, didn't matter to him.
Yeah, after the relationship, get out. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to cutthroat, man. That's how this business is.
I hear it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah, and by the time Matt had not even signed the lease for the place. We had looked at the place and everything. We had looked at it like the week before and everything. We had seen, a few other spots, but that kind of, it lit a fire. It lit a fire because, at the time, Matt had just had his second kid. He's actually thinking of putting things on the back burner for a little bit, and
I didn't know that.
And focusing on
real
his
estate.
Kids. His kids on real estate and everything. But yeah, he got wind. How he got wind of it, I don't know. I think we know who it was that told him.
Somebody snitched.
Somebody, got a snitch out there. That somebody that you thought you could trust.
Oh my God.
And it just got back to him, and he kicked us out. So we had no other option. We go join somewhere else.
Or you start your own thing.
Or just fucking grab our bootstraps. And get going.
Amazing, man.
So November 2019. By March of 2020, those 4 months, the very next day, Matt signed the lease. And then it was doing the build out and everything because it didn't look anything like it looked like now. The front was its own separate unit, suite. It was like a data server room. that was there. So you had all these towers there, and these cooling units and everything.
Interesting.
So we had to bust that wall.
This is Beltsville?
Beltsville.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you walk in, to the front,
Yeah.
that was all. They had like a race floor. And all these, racks where they had the servers and everything. It's a data center.
I got
That's
you.
what it was. So we had to, redo that, bust through, redo everything, redo KTL. Title company was the first thing that we opened. That officially opened.
Okay.
Because obviously we knew that needed to start producing. You will produce faster because we're still doing business. Obviously, we got a broker license and we're still selling and everything. So, and then we started focusing on the Argent side. And that's when by the time it wasn't even done 100%, but that's when the shutdown occurred.
Oh man,
it's like bam, everything shut down. It was all over the news and everything. But were we worried a little bit?
I mean,
you didn't know how long the shutdown was going to be.
But you weren't worried like the market's about to crash, like
not really.
I mean, you guys have been doing it for so long,
man. Not really, because we knew. I think in the back of our heads, we knew that it wasn't going to be as crazy like it was in 08 when the market really did crash.
Yeah.
And people, you couldn't, nobody wanted to buy.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to buy, and it was hard to sell a house because everything was a short sale.
See, I thought that's what was going to happen in COVID. I thought COVID was going to make everybody say, you know what, like you should just put plans on the back. COVID just accelerated everything. It went the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the government kind of they got a little bit out of control with the rates. They slashed the rates to almost zero.
Yeah.
And that's when all the craziness happened and everything, which actually it helped. But obviously it was like I said, it got a little too crazy.
It got crazy, man.
Maybe they shouldn't have had the rates that much.
I missed that whole market, bro.
Yeah,
I got in when everything was already turning bad.
It was really good. I should have saved more,
man.
Yeah. So so we didn't. If you had known, hey, this shutdown's going to last 18 months or whatever is going to be crazy, would that have made a difference? Probably not, knowing us.
Yeah. But just because that's a big undertaking. It's like you guys are putting how can I put it? Like not only your careers on the line, you're putting kind of your reputation on the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you start something like that and you fail at it, man.
And the money. I mean,
the investment on top of everything. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like you guys just burned the ships and was like,
yeah, that's it. That's exactly what they did.
We don't got nothing else to go back to.
That's exactly. That amazes me, man.
Yeah, literally, you burn the bridge behind you. It's it's sink or swim.
Yeah, bro. It's amazing.
Swim. So
because that was a crazy market. I mean, I remember I was calling loan officers. They were like, "Nah, bro, we're not doing loans." I'm like, "You're not doing loans? How am I gonna eat?" Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, for it didn't last that long.
Yeah.
The whole thing, because they were trying to figure out, they were scrambling, like the lenders and all the financial institutions. They were scrambling too.
Yeah.
But that was scary to me, man. So I can I'm just an agent. Like these guys are opening up a whole brokerage where people were gonna depend on you guys. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, that to me it just sounds like a scary time.
Yeah, yeah. And the one thing that was a little difficult was recruiting and everything, because everybody was like, I don't want to make a move right now because
especially
of
not
pandemic
that time.
and all
You
that
know
stuff.
what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that even that first year during the pandemic, I think we were still able to recruit like 20 agents and everything to come over.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that also gave us time, because the market slowed down a little bit and kind of gave us time to finish out the offices the way that we wanted wanted to be, and just went from there. And then, like I said, the government did its thing, and people started getting back into real estate. And they decided that, real estate was going to be one of the, they said, you had to stay home unless it was an essential.
Yeah, that's your essential
business.
Yeah.
And they said real estate is essential.
Oh, yeah, we got named essential.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Like I remember we wrote
we are.
Because, we wrote a letter just in case, the cop would pull you over or something because you're supposed to be home. It's like, what are you doing out here? Like, I'm a real estate agent. Look, here's a letter from a broker saying
that's just insane to think about, bro. That it came to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, that's a movie type thing.
Why are people home, man?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like, looking back at it now, we're like, but during the time, it was scary, bro. Like, you know what I mean? How are we gonna live now? Like, you know what I mean? Like they said, a new normal, right?
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. So that's kind of like how it started, right? And then now you guys have turned it into, multiple offices. So I'm assuming you guys the whole time you've had a vision, right? Like what you want Argent to be. So share that with me, man. Like, are you any plans or where do you see Argent going, man?
We have obviously short-term plans, long-term plans, and everything. I think in the short term, we've learned a few lessons from opening up Greenbelt. That it's not just about opening up an office and plugging somebody in there. It's like you got to have the right personnel to make things happen. And long term, obviously the overall concept, we don't want to be a Samson. They have 7,000 agents or whatever. Like you said, you never meet the broker. They don't know who the hell you are. They'll throw up some sort of party and somebody will show up and say, oh, that's the broker. Like he doesn't know you from Adam. That's not who we are. We want to be a boutique shop that specializes in being minority centric, and because we know what drives the market. And that's the minorities, first time buyers, et cetera, et cetera. If they're not buying houses, then the people that own these houses, they can't do the step ups and everything. That's
who they're gonna sell it to.
Who are you gonna sell it to? And yes, these people, they need more hand holding. They need more, more. You gotta work harder, essentially, in a way, to help them with credit and whatever the issues may have, and get them ready. But they're the ones that appreciate you the most. And the ones that are going to be loyal to you and refer you clients and refer you business. And, it's just that you have to, so that's what we want to be. We want to keep each office to about 100 agents per office. That way it's manageable. And have strategic spots. Okay. Like the Regis space that we just, signed up in Rio. That's like a test. For us. Just to see, can
we generate business?
Can we get a couple of Montgomery County agents that are, northern Montgomery County? Because some agents, they don't want to travel all the way down. To see, hey, let's see how that works out. At least we're not making a long-term commitment, getting our own office space. Now, if we get a few agents, 10 agents or whatever that sign up, and then this can work out. Let's go ahead and, explore getting an actual office and make that work better.
So you guys now you don't have necessarily like a goal in mind for how many offices. You guys are just going to be more strategic about offices moving forward.
I mean, long term, I think we've said 10 offices. In the area.
All right,
because I mean, if you think about it, there's certain areas that are strategic. So we have everything. Frederick, we ideally want to have an office over there because a lot of people are moving that way. Hagerstown, those areas are just blowing up.
They're blowing up, man.
Price points,
affordability,
price points. It's crazy.
That's what everybody's chasing right now is affordability.
I was talking to somebody at the office this morning. They just qualified a client for $400. But they want Montgomery County.
Tough.
They like Montgomery County. Montgomery County, and she's like, they want a single family. It's like there's nothing. Slim pickings.
Here's the wild thing, Juan. Just 5 years ago, 400,000 was a nice approval. You would have got a nice single family. It was just 5 years ago. So that's why I can understand people too, man, because it's like, 450,000 is a lot of money. 400,000 is a lot of money.
It is.
And you get that approval. You're thinking, okay, I'm gonna get the house, but then you it's 600,000 now. It's 550. You know what I mean? 400,000. Doesn't get you that house anymore that they got you 5 years ago. So I get people because that wasn't too long ago. You know what I mean? That wasn't too long ago where maybe a friend or a relative bought in the area they wanted. They bought for 400,000. So now you think, okay, I'm gonna go do it too. And then you get shocked. You're like, man, now it's gone up. Man, properties have shot up, man.
The good old. My neighbor says I can get a better price, or it's like. When did he buy? 5 years ago. Of course. Come on.
It's a whole different universe now.
Everybody's looking for that $350,000 home with an acre of land and all this. I'm like, unrealistic about what the expectations that they have. Because they're disconnected from how everything's changing. I tell you, like, to what you guys are saying, even 400 is not it's not a little bit of money. It's a lot of money. But
it's a lot of money, man.
It is.
Like, it sounds like you should be able to get a house.
But the fact that you can't get a single family in certain areas for that, it's mind boggling.
It's crazy. It's great, but that's when you have to be able to again sell the vision to the client. Be like, listen, it's first home buyer. It's not going. You're not going to be there 30 years. I mean,
statistically, you're not.
Statistically, you're not. So it's
establish that first.
Get something. Help that equity work for you. Make it grow for you for a few years. It's going to grow faster than whatever money you keep in the bank.
Got it.
So
especially
that money is going to help you maybe go into your dream home. So maybe your dream house is not your first one, it's your second one.
Yeah.
But at least use that money to be able to.
And sometimes maybe not even your second one.
Yeah. I've told he's heard me tell clients, like, when we get into that discussion, I'm like, you ever play Monopoly? You don't start out with the big one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to work towards it, and then you trade. And it's like, think about it like that. It's like, this is a piece that you're going to be an asset you're going to be able to trade, or trade up now, or leverage, right? So I mean, a lot of people have that mentality, like, especially in our community, because, like we said, this is typically some of the people you're gonna deal with. This is their dream. Like, this is what they've been dreaming about, buying this one house. So obviously they look at it like it's permanent. You know what I mean? In our community, so it's tough to get them out of that state of mind. But like you said, you got to navigate, and you got to sometimes point people in directions. Like, I remember about 5 years ago, I had a buddy of mine. He reached out. And he said, "Hey, Renee, look, I got approved for X. I think around the time it was like 300,000." And he's like, "Look, the only place I see homes is Capitol Heights or District Heights, right? And those areas have improved tremendously now. But back then, like when he reached out to me 5-6 years ago, they weren't the greatest. It was starting to develop, right? So I said, "Hey, buddy, have you ever been to Glen Burnie?" And he's like, for the MVA, that's about it." And he was like, "That's far though." And I'm like, you work everywhere, bro. You don't have he has a stay-at-home wife, and then his job is, he's like a superintendent or something. So he goes everywhere. So I'm like, what are you worried about? I'm like, you're going to go. He's like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, look, schools are better. Like, you know what I mean? Schools are better because you have the little kids. That's what I was worried about the most. Because at the time, the schools in those areas weren't the best.
At all.
So to make a long story short, he said, okay, let's go look at it. Man, now he's like the mayor of Glen Burnie. He loves Glen Burnie. He's like, I'll never leave Glen Burnie. You know what I mean? He loves it up there. So I'm like, you see, like, sometimes just you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? So yeah, I always look at that story and I'm like, I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of him for listening to me. And now, he's sitting on a bunch of equity, nice house, and kids go to good schools and stuff. So yeah, sometimes it's within our community, it's just, you grew up there, so you kind of want to stay around there, but hey, man, Maryland's a big place, you know what I mean? Nice place, too. So it's like, go learn some new areas, where it's a little more affordable, especially right now, right?
Yeah, I never understood the I want to stay in Langley Park. It's like,
oh, gosh.
Why, dude? It's like
I hear you. But I mean,
get it.
sometimes that's all you know.
It's like being back in El Salvador or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody speaks Spanish.
Everybody speaks Spanish. Yeah,
But then I see it as a bad thing because there's no growth for.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. There's no growth. If you're gonna get used to just being around. Yeah, it's convenient. But you're not gonna elevate your knowledge on the area or the people or your language. You're not gonna. It's just like you being back over there, but you're here.
But that's comfortable. You gotta understand.
But that's the problem. It's comfortable. People get comfortable.
It's a difference of opinion at that point. But I get it. You know what I mean? It's like they get stuck in almost like an echo chamber. Like so I get it.
Yeah. So
we're on an hour.
Nice, man.
Nice.
That was fast.
Yeah, I know. Time flies when you're on a podcast.
No kidding.
When you're having fun.
So do you guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up, man.
All right. Yeah. So just any closing thoughts?
No, I mean, again, real estate is something that I've been doing almost 23 years.
Long time. You see a lot of cycles, man.
Long time. You see a lot of cycles. Don't.
You think technology is gonna take us out, man?
Nah. You gotta embrace it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, right? Was this year and then during the pandemic time, we saw a whole bunch of agents leave the industry. For somebody who is listening and considering getting into real estate, would you recommend it?
Absolutely. If you're willing to put in the work and hustle. I mean, we were talking yesterday at the meeting. I was saying, look, clients don't fall from the sky. The real estate is not what you see on TV.
Yeah, at HGTV, right?
Somebody sells a house in 30 minutes.
56,000 commission.
It's not selling sunset.
It's not. And then obviously, if you're not a people person, then you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle. I myself, I'll tell you. Matt will tell you. I mean, when I first met, I was introverted, and just it's something that I've worked on.
Okay.
You know, building up that confidence to like talk to people and just, you know, not give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
that basically.
yeah, it's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
Nah, if you're broke enough, you'll
You'll
start swimming.
Yeah, but yeah, anybody that's trying to get into it, yes, it can be. It's a great business to be in.
Yeah.
You know, it's lucrative. There's many different avenues that you can take with real estate. You know, not just selling houses. I mean, you can get into, you know, investing and managing and you know, having rental portfolio and all that stuff. But one, you have to have the right support. You gotta have the right, you know, brokers behind you, supporting you, teaching you. You know, I've been up till, you know, one day I was driving back from Matt's house. It was like 2 a.m. and an agent sent me an email because she needed help comping a property. Offers were due at noon the next day. On that Saturday. It was a Friday that was at Matt's house, and you know, I was getting ready for bed and everything, and I looked at the email and I saw, okay, there's a deadline, and I'm like, if I go to sleep, I'm not waking up before that deadline. I said, because it was almost 3 a.m. So I'm like, all right, so I got in the computer.
You were doing comps at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
You guys.
I responded to her.
That's
you know,
amazing.
I sent her my comps, what I thought the price should be, the offer should be, and you
Hopefully she got it, man.
I can't remember if she got it or not. But then, you know, she responded to the email, like all shocked that I was responding at that time, and with another question, and then I answered it and whatever. And then, you know, at least, you know, that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to be there for you.
I mean, I'm
when
pretty
you
sure
actually
Level of support,
that level
9,000.
of support.
putting
yeah.
in an offer or something like that. You know, it's like, hey, you know, because we know money doesn't sleep, doesn't wait.
Yeah, bro.
You know, you
Not in
make
real
the deal
estate.
work. You know, you're gonna have those times where you're gonna have to talk to somebody at, you know, 10, 11 a.m. at 10, 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And Juan happens to be that guy, man.
I am, you know, I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, that's what I like. Like, but these guys, like, they take pride in that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They take pride in being able to help you at 2 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's amazing, man.
Because you guys also understand what it's like being in the agent shoes.
Yeah,
like,
that's true,
Absolutely,
too.
absolutely.
and how much that would mean to them to be able to have that support.
And that's usually one of the biggest pitfalls when you go to offices and brokerages. Is usually the people in management positions, they don't have sales experience. You know what I mean? Or very little sales experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why these guys crush it, man. Well, Juan, man, we appreciate you coming by, man. And definitely, I want to, set up so we can have the dynamic duel episode. You know what I mean? The Batman and Robin episode.
That one's probably gonna be like 2 hours.
We'll see.
And we're all here for it.
I want to hear stories. I want to hear
Just-
some Barcelona stories, man.
Yeah.
Just have some crown here.
No,
you
yeah,
know,
the different vibe for that
It's
one.
gonna be an after hours.
Yeah, that's
show.
gonna be like an after hours show, man. That's gonna be a whole
It'll be
different
more
vibe,
laid back.
man.
Absolutely.
But definitely, Juan, thank you for coming, man. Appreciate you, man. Everything you do for us, man.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you everybody who listened. If you guys enjoyed the episode and you want to hear more from Juan, please drop a like, drop a share, and let us know what you guys thought about the episode. What was your favorite part? And drop some suggestions on what you want to see next. And we will see you guys in the next episode.
See you in the next one.
Peace.